game will most likely be decided by the mid game, assuming we can survive the laning phase. We can see in a lot of the CIS games. One moment. Oh, you did it like you doing me like that again?
Doing you dirty, buddy.
Production always lies to me. A couple times they say snap for the draft, I do it, and then they make me look silly. But anyway.
Oh, there we go.
Oh. Well, we'll get them next time. It's fine. We see in CIS a lot of these games are determined by the way the lanes play out. I think that in these upper echelon European games, it comes down to more of the mid-game team fights. What are you guys expecting?
Well, to me, Liquid, first, when we started the tournament, they looked like a team that actually didn't know what to do inside of the mid-game. But was it yesterday against Secret? They actually showed some improvements on that part. So, to be honest, I'm expecting to see quite a close series here. Maybe even going to the whole 3 games.
Oh yeah, ever since that patch, series have been going pretty long. I think honestly though, the way that Liquid drafts, they're a little bit like not obvious, but they're not too outside the box. You know, they're gonna have their Mars, Axe, Phoenix. They're very much a combo-based team, and I think when you get to like the OGs, that's when they can pick them apart. I think against the Secret series, and you look at game 3, they were able to pick a Morphling into a Gyro. So it was one of those like, oh wait, nice, this is really good for us. So I think their draft in that scenario is just so game-winning that yeah, they rely heavily on getting that gotcha pick, which I don't think they're going to be able to get in this game.
Okay.
Are you just like test running this now?
I have no idea. But you know what? For games 2 and 3, we're going to be on point.
That could be your play. Like if you don't like what people are saying, just turn off the draft, and then it's like, oh wait, then we'll
you want that back? You better start saying nice things.
Exactly. We love you, Kyle. Please turn the draft back on.
Notably, none of the creep heroes are banned. So what do you guys think? Chen, Ench, Furion, will they survive the first phase?
Well, they're not banned. Is OG gonna pick Chen or an Enchantress? Most likely. So that's something we can see from them. From Liquid, is Oracle in the pool? No, it's not. Then I have no idea what they want to go for. I guess an Ember is a good opening, but they go for the Grimstroke.
Yeah, casual Insania Grimstroke. I've seen the pattern in their drafts and how they've changed is they're always making sure that their support's picking first. At the start of this tournament, they would always jump to the Ember in these heroes, but now they're like, wait, just go back to the bread and butter. If we have Oracle, go Oracle.
Yep.
Grim. Like, don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, it feels like the core hero pool has certainly expanded. In fact, you know, now that we're just seeing more heroes added that seem to be equal in power level to the ones that we've noticed for quite some time. The Tiny is a perfect example, but I don't really think you can replicate Grimstroke, especially the Soulbind against all these spirit pickups.
Yeah, but I also think as well, when you look at like Liquid as a team, they don't really have that flexibility in a draft that OG, for example, has. Like OG could easily go for a Pango or the Ember, or maybe with the 33, the Chen, for example. Like these heroes that they can put in anywhere. Liquid, this is what I think their downfall. When I said at the start of their draft, it's like they've never really kind of go, oh cool, we got you with this guy's going here and there. It's always, they always go for their combos, and they always go for just a solid draft, ending it off with like maybe that quirk of a hero, be it a Lone Druid or a good Storm game, but not really Storm nowadays, but you get the gist.
That doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but I guess it is an advantage for OG, since they are definitely more flexible when it comes to the lanes, when it comes to the heroes they can play. And AA, nice. They played it all 3 games that we watched them. At least 2 they did.
Yeah, so against Alliance they had it twice, and then they didn't play it when they were against Secret.
Okay.
But I like this because DP's still in the pool, right? So you pick up the A on second pick, and you're like, if you want to go TP, sure, but we have a hard counter. We're going to force it into a support role. You've already picked Grim.
Yep.
Can you really run that as a support duo?
OG really love abusing eruptible mechanics, specifically if you remember their victory at TI8, like the stacking damage reduction. There's no real counterplay to this. The same way, if you AA blast someone, it just removes this whole heal tank sustain meta from the pool of options for Liquid, because you know, obviously you cannot heal, and there's nothing that can do what AA can do. OG, of course, have yet to claim their first series victory. I believe they've lost 2-1 in both of their series, however. So not as if they're looking weak necessarily, but, you know, when stand-ins, high ping, we shouldn't expect them to necessarily be on their TI form. Weaver, the selection, good against the AA. Not always a huge fan of it against the Ember. What do you think, Harry Freak?
To be honest, I like it. The reason maybe because it doesn't feel as strong is because we haven't seen Mike playing it. I think it has mostly been on the offlane. Tigav, you have the stats, if you can pull that up. It's actually one of those heroes you talked about, the AA Weaver doesn't care about it. If you go Ags Weaver, DLT actually doesn't matter. You can heal someone up, so I guess that's fine. I really wouldn't want to see it laying with this Grimstroke. Yeah, Shukuchi and Dinkswell, they kind of can work, but I'd really like to see a stun or something that like can survive laning with a Grimstroke. So in that regard, I don't see like the synergy between these two heroes right now.
I think in terms of just for the draft so far, they haven't actually played Weaver in the WePlay Pushka.
Not at all?
No, not at all. They haven't played a single game of Weaver. So right now you have to ask yourself the question, do they play at support? Will they flex it maybe into the offlane? And if for some reason it becomes a good carry game, they can do it there. So I think right now it's just an open pick. And we've seen time and time again how Weaver, you get that Aghanim, if it's a support, you can go Vessel Ags, straight Ags. Like it makes teamfights so easy. And I think when you look at OG and how they play, if you have that hard reset, you can maybe punish the overextensions that OG might be able to fall into.
Yep, and fourth pick Rubik coming, or third pick Rubik coming out for their 4 position. Saksa, likely, who was a bit bummed, went viral earlier, claiming, you know, finally get to join OG, and TI is postponed. Quite unfortunate when you join the 2-time champs.
So what's that? So if TI is postponed to the end of this year or next year, is it then just going to be just 1 year void, or are they going to double up next year?
It will most likely be next year. Okay. So we do not have...
We'll just update. We'll just extend the season, much like the NBA's got to do, you know? We've had 2 majors already. We'll wait like 6 to 8 months, maybe a little less, and we'll get things underway. Nice. Again, I'm just guessing and talking out of my ass, which I am much better at than making sense. So, Tusk... We haven't seen anybody play this outside of the Secret Enigma or not series, but these 2 teams love it. I'm surprised it's taken this long to be selected, but you gotta consider these 2, once again, squishy range supports on the side of OG. Liquid, I imagine, you'll look to hunt them.
I think it boils down to the desire to fight, and also the fact that now, if you do put the Weaver in the offlane role, you have a nice combo with the Tusk, the Germinate on the tag team. You're gonna have a strong laning presence, and if the A ever oversteps his mark, pretty much going to be a free kill. So I like the fact that Liquid, they are going for strong lanes. They're not going to go for this squishier, longer to play game. For example, if they went for like this Axe or Mars combo that they have, it's good, but it's open to being ran at, right? So they're making sure that they can match the play style that is OG.
I think that OG will go for an illusion hero this game, like or a troll. Okay, they get the Underlord. I'm not the biggest fan, because Tusk is one of those heroes that can run you down in lane.
I think this is honestly a really nice pick, because it covers you from like a potential PA, for example. You have Grimstroke PA, that could be a really strong lane. Ember, AA, and Rubik, all hate getting jumped by a Deso PA, so I think...
I mean, it covers you from all the squishy... like agi carries you could select, right? PA, Riki, even illusion cores aren't that great against Underlord. Plus, always love the synergy with both Rubik and AA, because these squish heroes, we've talked about it, they're susceptible to being jumped on and exposed. You put this, like, arguably the hero in Dota that is the fattest in front of you, plus the spell lamp from AAW actually makes the Rain of Fire do quite some damage, as it is max HP based.
It also puts Tusk in a weird position, because naturally you want to move from lane to lane, try and maybe abuse the TP to get into a rotation. You now can pretty much void this lane, unless they pick a very aggressive carry that can maybe punish this, but it's so hard to punish this lane. I think you could maybe think of a Gyrocopter, could be that kind of guy, but again, that's very much a pre-level 3, where it's, exactly. I can see your face, they can see your face, it's still not great.
Wait, you don't think a Grimstroke Tusk +1 can shut down the Underlord?
Pre-level, that's why I said about the pre-level 3. Pre-level 3, they're very susceptible to being punished, but after that, I think it opens up the lane to be pretty too easy, right?
Plus, it's going to be a boots first Rubik, I imagine. You know, if you really want to try lane, and part of why I don't think we see try lanes, you just pull the creep wave.
And also then the Weaver, if he is off lane, the Weaver doesn't really get a game potentially. So I think if they do try lane, it's cute, but you're shutting down an Underlord whose game is going to always be the same. He doesn't really care too much. He's that big boy who walks in front.
Apart from a Timber, is there something that can actually lane 1 versus 1 against the Underlord, and we see maybe a potentially aggressive lane from Liquid? Not really.
Maybe, but then you're opting to put the Weaver inside your aggressive lane, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they pick up the Monkey.
And more aggression, good synergy with the Grimstroke. And it's a Liquid special, still open, could be Mickey, could be Koifa, never know.
So I think
Boxy play it.
I just like the way that Liquid have, I think, adapted their draft for this series. Like, you can see from all their previous series they played, they've always had like a stubbornness for the Liquid style. And I know these are obviously still Liquid heroes, but it's like the way in which the order in which they picked them, it's like, nice, you're actually trying to match up against your opponent, not just sticking to your own kind of philosophy. So I think some teams can fall into that trap, and then that's when they get picked apart. by, again, for example, the teams like OG.
To me, this looks like an awesome OD game for Liquid, right? If they want to last pick it, if OG wouldn't have anything against it, I think this is an awesome OD game.
It is, but you don't have
a lot of
last
single
pick.
target, a lot of no real tower push, and as you're about to say, like, whenever I don't have overall last pick, I'd feel a little hesitant about grabbing OD. Always a possibility, but I just don't know if it's necessarily their style. I'd like to see them grab something that just deals tower damage. I mean, Lone Druid is still in the pool, but it's really not the greatest thus far.
I mean, you have percentage-based damage from the Underlord, you have an Ember, and then an AA. I think that the Lone Druid just dies every time.
It could, but I still think it might, just for the idea of playing your game, right? It just gives you the access to taking towers, right? Like, I think that's what they need, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just pick it, not caring about what's present. For OG, they do like a little bit of, outside of the AA ult, they do like a bit of damage right now, right? Like, Ember, he pokes you. Underlord Rubik, they're alright, but like, there's not a lot of like, we walk up high ground, you're instantly dead.
I mean, Queen of Pain looks good. Queen of Pain looks good. Because I don't think that you want a hero that can be ganked by the Tusk in the mid lane. So Queen of Pain looks pretty solid to me, looking at as they have this Underlord.
Well, Liquid's gonna have next pick. Do you feel like, because I just look at the lanes, especially after the previous series, we saw it multiple times. Lanes just got exposed. Team wins 3, team wins game. And right now, Monkey King feels like it has the dream, regardless of where he goes. Whether it's Ember or Underlord, it's a pretty free matchup.
It is, but it depends on what pick. So whatever this last pick for Liquid is, you can maybe ruin your Monkey's game because you force him into the wrong lane. OG have ultimate last pick, then you just put the Ember carry. You just put, let's say you can run the aggressive, put Underlord top. Like, there's so many ways in which OG can punish the Monkey King, even though it looks like a Monkey Game right now. So I think for Liquid, though, they need to decide how they're going to lane this. Are they just going to assume it's the Ember mid, put the Monkey mid, and then pick up a carry, or are they going to actually decide, okay, we need a win condition right now, because as much as we can maybe match the fight, we need the way of actually ending the game.
I'm not sure, like, it's still flexible for them. This can be a carry weaver, and I mean, Kyle mentioned that they have a lot of single target, but I wouldn't mind like seeing a Slardar as well. Then the Ember is gonna have a bad lane wherever he goes. So there you would have a position 1 weaver, and then you just snowball off of that. That I could see that being a possibility, also a way to actually burn through this really tanky Underlord.
Is DK banned? They could just go for like a casual.
It's tough though. This is one of the reasons this AA is so strong. I think that's the perfect finisher, because this is once again miserable for these 2 OG supports to play against. And you can't go for your traditional.
It gives them a way to take towers, objectives. That's the main thing, right? It unlocks Roshan for their draft. Of course, you then now have Swarm on the Weaver plus the Beastmaster. You're going to have a way to actually move from a fight into an objective, which I think is the key thing when pairing up against.
Not the greatest matchup against Underlord or Ember, though. Specifically Underlord. If you end up even with him, if you go for Underlord and don't kill him, you're in trouble. Especially when you consider the pit just pretty much counteracts all the aggression. They go for a dazzle. That's got to be a core.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
it's going to be
a mid?
A mid dazzle?
Mid, maybe, yeah.
Or a carry dazzle.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because they just saw it's monkey mid. And Dazzle versus MK is actually a pretty sick Dazzle favored matchup. MK super low armor, you just spam Q, right click him. I've seen it go Monkey King's way, but I think that was due to misplays. What do you guys feel about this? This is the first Dazzle we've seen in a while.
I mean, maybe you've seen it like earlier. You remember when Mischief would actually dodge spells? So Monkey was considered a counter to the Queen of Pain, to the Dazzle, to the heroes like this. But nowadays, when you can't dodge it, I don't really see it going Monkey King's way unless we see a Tusk rotation, right? If Monkey King starts winning this lane, then it's gonna be really bad for the Dazzle. So I think it goes Dazzle's way, but I can see Liquid with the rotation of their supports actually winning the mid lane.
My fear is OG, they've got they're perfect style, right? They play an okay strong lane, they can collapse together, own the map. The issue is, if the game stagnates a bit, how do they actually eventually like lock down this Weaver? You're relying on pretty much the root of Ember, the root of Underlord. Outside of that, don't really do anything. Monkey King with BKB, don't really do anything. So I think Liquid, they're the ones who put OG on a timer, but we've seen time and time again, OG doesn't really care about timings because they just own the map.
All right, so real quick, make a stand. Harry Freak, who's taking?
I'm gonna go for OG.
OG?
Yeah.
I'm going with Liquid.
I'm also probably going to lean Liquid, but I'm curious to get some other opinions on this game. We're going to be joined by our casters, Odie, Pixel, and Fogged. How you doing, lads?
Hey, not too bad, Carl. How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. I miss you. I hope you guys are having fun, staying safe.
We are staying safe, indeed.
Well, I can see you having fun. Looks like you guys are having a lot of fun on the panel, so, you know, keep up the great work, you guys. Yeah, Fogged, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's been rainy. The weather has been weird. This week is supposed to finally start getting hot in New York. You know, everything starting to pick up. Maybe we can actually go outside soon. We'll see. Probably not.
Gotta stay careful, of course. But talking about things that are hot, looking at these two drafts, Fog. Or what are you liking today here from between Liquid and OG? Because we're getting some fun stuff already. Because I'm thinking Quakefer, he is going to take that Weaver. I would imagine. That mid lane to make sure the Monkey King doesn't have to go against that Dazzle in that terrible matchup.
Yeah, I think that would have been a really abysmal matchup. I think it's actually pretty fortunate too, because they do have now Monkey King versus Underlord too, which used to be a way to kind of deal with him. I think they had a good option when they had their pick set up that they could move their lanes around a little bit, and yeah, I think this is a pretty good choice. I don't think I've ever seen Weaver versus Dazzle mid. I think I think he should be pretty okay as long as he doesn't get like heal bombed inside of a creep wave. He has good rune control too, so we'll probably have to see OG making early moves onto the runes, because that Weaver is likely to get a bottle early on, because he can just guarantee get those. And I think I did kind of like this Beastmaster last pick. It gives them tower push and objective taking, like the panel was mentioning that it was lacking a little bit, and now they have Grimstroke synergy.
Oh yeah, so. Excellent synergy with the Grimstroke, but through multiple heroes. I mean, obviously the Rories you're suggesting with the Soulbind, and the fact that you're also playing with these mobile cores like the Monkey King and the Weaver that are going to be able to get in the faces of OG. I see the bit of a setup here, Samau. He's playing careful.
I'm intrigued by OG's draft too, though, because they also, looking at theirs, they don't really hit buildings. It's, I guess, like Underlord, if they win a fight, he's probably the best one, right?
Yeah, he really is. This guy, once he starts getting some of that aura up, he punches hard.
So they have a big team fight lineup, though, right? They have a lot of ways to just constantly take fights, not really cooldown dependent almost at all for anybody on their team. So that's the one thing, as the panel mentioned, they're just going to look to brawl. It's OG. They're going to look to just take fights constantly. That's how they'll get objectives. They're just going to outnumber you and probably just surround you. So.
Yeah. When they do group up as a bunch, this lineup from OG is going to have some serious force behind it. And you know, potentially going to be pushing it at a point where, you know, maybe Weaver and Monkey King aren't going to be too scary. We'll see how well they do at the beginning, because I think, as you said, I think Quakefer should have a pretty free time in the mid. I don't think this Dazzle's going to put any pressure in top lane. Mickey against the Underlord as well. You know, there's every reason to see Mickey and Quakefer not have a terrible start this game with these lane subs.
Yeah, mid one actually already though. The one thing that you do have to watch out for as a Weaver is you can get doubled up on creep waves. That's the thing, is Dazzle's always been a pretty interesting mid laner that you can do really well in a lot of matchups, just because you have an amazing animation, you have good harass, and you have wave push always. Even has a Sanctuary placed down too, so if Quakefer does go for the Shukuchis, he could get punished. So I think mid one should still have a good time, at least in the mid lane.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's very hard for Quakefer to do anything aggressive on the Dazzle. The Dazzle should be fine. I would be surprised if we don't see anything other than a sort of a clean trade and farm in that lane. We'll think in terms of the laning stage down bottom, you know, Smail playing this safe lane, Ember backed up by No-Tail. I imagine that this isn't necessarily a very fun lane for Smail, right? This Grim Beastmaster, you know, once there's a few levels behind them, they're going to be able to put pressure onto a safe lane Ember, right?
Yeah, just hitting him over and over again. But once those levels do break out, they do have... There's only going to be the one spell that can really break Flame Guard, so I'm wondering if he gets the 2 early points in it, right? Then they can't break it. Like, the Grimstroke won't be able to unless he lands a really perfect Stroke of Fate along the creeps and gets that extra damage bonus on it. So he's probably a good point for the decision.
Yeah, having that second point in the Flame Guard is going to be great for just like killing off the boar as well, right? You run in and this boar is just going to have to be microed away, otherwise it will just fall every time.
Yep.
Can't really keep it in attacking the Ember.
No-Tail's doing a good job of he's even using cold feet on the boar and then just using his chill and touch. He actually gets a kill on it there, and it's a significant amount of experience, and they've gotten pulls already down bottom too, so you see their lane is at least getting a lot of XP.
Mid lane, I mean, I said I thought it'd be even, but Quakefer turning up big time and getting the first blood on mid one.
Look, I wasn't looking, I didn't see how low he was.
That is not the lane you expect to see first blood happening in. I guess that mid one just stepping up a little bit too far and not enough heals to keep himself up. Quakefer winning the trade war there. And getting first blood, pretty huge for him as well. This mid lane, as you can see, already actually having a CS advantage. So Koifa definitely having the better time in this 1v1. So if they can bring him down, they've got the Jingu mastery up, and he does have the boundless strike ready to throw down Mickey, but at just level 1, he knows that it's not going to be enough to really harm Seb too much. So if anything, we'll just look to save it, line it up, and make sure he's able to use it in a fashion to get a maximum amount of heal off it, getting the creeps and as many heroes as possible. That's been played by and he's saving on time. He's surely going to want to use it to get that heal. There we go. There we go. Back up to full HP as he clears up the creep wave.
And we did see Sumail actually is going for a little bit of a different build. This looks like, I guess it's more of also a kill skill build, right? Because he has the cold feet level 2.
Well,
so cold feet plus chain. So I guess that's how they're going to try to set up kills rather than using that flame guard.
I mean, here we have it. You know, the Beastmaster, Boxy steps forward. They throw it down. Coffee is going to proc, but he has the ink swell on him. Stun will connect on Sumail, but Boxy, he'll fall. Sumail also getting very, very low himself. Insania is trying to finish him off. He's juking through the trees, but indeed the ball vision will allow Insania to set up and get the kill. At the same time, up top, Liquid were also able to make moves in onto Seb, having that higher level, the extra point in the boundless strike, meaning they had the nuke damage to burst him down. Mid lane, again, he's having a back right up. Yeah, that sort of first kill, it's done to spiral out of control. Koifa's got the level advantage. This level 3 Shikuchi, you know, it hits pretty hard, and you've got a decent mana pool nowadays. You know, you get these 2 Wraith Bands to be pretty liberal with the way that you just hit the Dazzle constantly with Harass.
Yeah, kind of neat. He didn't actually go for bottle or anything. He's just playing straight up lane. It probably helps because he got that early kill, right? That he's able to get this straight up stats, just win the last hit super hard. He's 24 and 8. All 3 lanes actually for Liquid going super well because of those flexible picks that they did set themselves up with early.
And I think that is, so for sure, a little bit of a worry for OG. Is their lineup definitely requiring the momentum? I mean, any lineup that sort of built around a mid dazzle is going to need it. Insania, he'll dive the cold feet. Boxy's going to try and find a kill in return. He's on top of No Tail with the ink swell stun. The ball slowing him as well as Boxy doesn't want to dive too far. The tower starts to hit on him and he backs away, and indeed he's in trouble. Sumail chains connection, cuts him out with a sleight of fist. So whereas the other 2 lanes may have seen some fortune for Liquid, this bottom lane, OG cleaning up both of them.
I think Boxy just playing his hand a little bit too much there, just playing too far forward.
Top lane, Seb's in trouble again. They're slowing him down. TP's come in, but he's already been burst slow by the boundless strike. Seb will fall. McKay getting a second kill up here on this top lane. We'll be able to start investing in the phase boots. So very much the sort of pressure on this bottom lane. Sumail, he's had this situation where he's getting involved in kills. They need this Ember to have this good start, because the other cores are going to struggle out of the lanes.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I feel like I've said this every single time I've casted, but I'm watching the supports, at least Taiga in particular in this game. You see he's only level 2 and change, almost level 3. Mickey, almost level 6. So he's just been giving that Monkey King, because he knows the Monkey King has a great matchup versus that Underlord, ensure that he has that even better start. Mickey's already 6 now. Underlord is level 3.
Yeah, it's a real rough area for Seb to be in.
Koifa now will back up and go for that bottle. So he will now have that rune control as we were talking about earlier. Top of that set. And he's making a move. He's actually keeping bottom.
Well, yeah, Boxy, he's already gone down. They are going to try and find a kill in return. As you say, with these TPs, they can get revenge. They roll in onto Sumail. They'll get both of them. No Tail is surrounded. Koifa getting the double.
Oh, he tried to time-lapse back to mid, I think.
That would have been huge value, but
he tried.
Indeed, just didn't quite have the timing there. Still though, with the Shikuchi and the Arcane Rune, he's back there almost as quickly and can get straight back to harassing mid 1 and making sure that the pressure isn't too much for his tier 1 tower mid. Yeah, very, very nice move there from Koifa in the backup to ensure that really Sumail doesn't get too far out of control, because Sumail, he's playing the lane really nicely. We're seeing each time they trying to make an advance with the ink swell Liquid. He's obviously dodging it with the sleight of fist, and with this build where he's maxing the sleight and the chains, it really does hurt. Sleight chains combo, that's sort of half the HP of a Grimstroke, and then you follow that up with No Tail. You can see why they are getting the kills down here, but yeah,
mid lane, mid 1 looks like he's about to get chased. And Frank, he does hit level 7, so he has Grave now available.
He's not even going to use it. Not even going to use it. A little surprising. He had a lot of mana. I mean, he would put that down to ping, I'm sure.
Yeah, he had a fairy fire too, so something.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah, so yeah, sometimes the ping fluctuates. You know, sometimes it's 190, sometimes it's 210. You know.
Never know. So Sumail, I'm actually like thinking more about it, and I'm liking the skill build even more because looking at their draft too, I think the chains are even they're so good in this game too. If there's those mid-game fights versus the Weaver too, that's going to come into play, having those early points and chains are going to be really useful for his team. So like we were talking about, Sumail is kind of that one that's having the pretty okay start right now, so that'll help his team at least a bit when he does have that disable for the Weaver as Seb top.
Poor old Seb. He's, okay. You know, he's having to play so scared. He is just about to hit level 5, but still, yeah, that level difference certainly hurting. Mickey level 7, he's got the phase, build with Venom, he's ready to start building his Echo Saber. Monkey King and Weaver on Liquid's half. Going to have a very good beginning to this game. And it'll be hard for mid one instead to have too much impact. Koifa will have regen being taken away from him by Saxa. But Koifa's moving over to help out Tiger. Seb has been found. He's trying to get himself a little bit of safety here back in the jungle. This time, the Great Ball coming time onto Seb. Seb goes for the TP out. They will have the stun to cancel it though. Seb gets held back. He will fall. They'll turn over towards Saxa. Koifa ready to clean up more. Has to time lapse out and doesn't quite have enough damage to kill off the Rubik. So Saxa will live. But now Sumail is in. Sumail, he has a remnant prepared. Oh, back by the tier 2. Well, indeed, knocked down Mickey on the way past, which was a good job. Otherwise, Mickey may have been able to follow. Actually, I guess didn't have Primal Spring available, but still, another trade where Liquid, they're getting the kills. Koifa continues to be incredibly slippery. They really struggle to hold him down, and now back towards mid. They're in on mid 1, of course. Grave still on cooldown after using it to save Seb. He's got no way to keep himself alive this time. Liquid bullying both the mid lane and the top lane, bringing all 4 heroes into this sort of area. OG are coming out with the smoke. Sumail's going to try for a setup, but Liquid, they've got a lot of people if they want to try and out Tiger. Tiger will fall, and maybe they could get more as they go towards Mickey, even though Liquid have a few here. Can they actually take this fight? They're trying for Saxa, but Sumail jumps in with the remnants. Things fall upon him. Sumail still got 2 remnants to play with. Another sleight of fist brings Mickey low. Not quite enough to kill him. They're looking for Koifa, as Koifa is very low. Actually, no availability for a Shikuchi, but he's out of range. Sumail, does he want to try and chase over onto enemy territory? He certainly does. Get the slight change combo. But still, Insania and Tiger are by Koifa's side, so OG won't dive any further.
I think he just gives away his, well, not 100%, but you kind of give away one of your wards there, right? Because there's no way that they should be able to see that far up there, unless it's just him, unless you're assuming he just randomly did it. Sumail still getting aggressive for the rune.
He did. I mean, he managed to grab it. He's out with the remnant, and job well done. Sumail's in and out. Takes that bounty rune away from Liquid. Now down bottom, Liquid, they will find notes out, but the AA Ice Blast does come out. Sumail's a little too low on mana to capitalize on it and try and finish off these kills, so no one will die to this Tiger. It should be fine, living just above the threshold. Of course, all whilst this goes down,
minutes, though,
you know, it's and you tell you who it is as well, Seb is, you know, he's finally getting some space on this top lane. We're seeing Liquid sort of focused all around this other area. Seb's finally been able to reach out and get some farm up top, which he so desperately needed. Now, all 3 cores of OG very much playing already a bit of a catch-up game here at 10 minutes in, as both Koifa and Mickey lead the charge in farm.
You just spoke about clicked him, and I think he made a boo-boo.
Well, what's he done?
I have to talk to him about that afterwards, but he's got, I don't know if I've seen Tranquil Boots on that hero before.
I mean, why not? You know, it's...
I mean, maybe. I mean, late.
Yeah. There we go, the setup's there with a snowball. They're looking for Saxa, but Saxa's able to turn with a lift onto Tiger. Combing in with a side of fist. Sumail takes down the tusk. Sumail, you can feel him. Power. He wants to fight, and he's going to look for potentially more hit. Ice Blast doesn't hit though, so doesn't want to go further. And again, just constantly using the sleight of fist, this maxed out sleight of fist that is harassing them. Koifa moved in onto Sumail, but Sumail is prepared. He has Rem, so it's a little too hard for Liquid to go on them. Really, they need Boxy to be around with the Roar if they want to try and catch this Ember right now. Sumail jumping all over the place. And going for that physical build, of course, with the slight map, queuing up the Crystallis.
I like it quite a bit when you're playing with Dazzle. You already have bad Juju coming into play in a lot of the fights, right? So you're just straight physical damage with that minus B. Can be pretty nice for himself. I think those last few moments were like the dream for the offlaners. Both of them have recovered a lot. We saw Boxy pushing bottom, Seb pushing top, as you were mentioning. But Liquid were good about dictating the pace still with their very mobile heroes. This Monkey King and Weaver, they're not letting down. They're looking to just keep trying to fight. OG responding.
But an excellent job of getting the catches. Indeed, this Mickey Monkey King farming in a bit of a precarious area. They did have a ward down, Liquid, so I guess he just felt a little safer than he was in that area. But Samao just consistently on the hunt for catches. Boxy will get some time to put some pressure onto the tier 1 top.
Yeah, he's caught up. He's level 9. He has his book. First level of that book already done. He's got a smoke already queued up too, and they're already looking to pressure towers quite quick.
He's trying to hunt for the Rubik in the trees, but Saxa with the tree dance a little too hard to catch. He's able to keep his distance.
And Weaver is so slow. He's so slow now with the boots change. It's actually crazy. He doesn't get the percentage in the Sakuchi, so when he's moving around, he's just very slow here in comparison to what he used to be.
Yeah. I mean, he was very, very fast to be fair. But you're right.
He's still 580, but you know, before it was like 600s, you know, you're cruising the whole time. But...
Well, Seb, killing some birds. Quafer, yeah, trying to go for that diffuser. They'll smoke up the two of them, Insane and Quafer, as they look to reposition. Maybe looking towards this kill on the mid lane. We'll see how safe mid one plays it.
They want to try to get some more power pressure. They haven't even really hit this one. Now for mid one.
That's the brutal combo there. The silence into the stun. There's no chance for a grave. Samel will be able to find the grab onto Tiger as he dives under the tower. So a trade is found. OG seeing if they can push in for more. Samel, he's got the slight chains combo, ready to go again. Gets the connection onto Insania. Another setup from Samel. The ice blast flies through. Insania will die. Double buyback coming out from Liquid. They look to turn. They'll find Saxa with the Roar. It is just the Rubik, though. Ideally, with this 2 buybacks, they need to find something more out of this. But I don't think they will unless Mickey can find some sort of connection. He's there with the wraparound. Goes for the stun onto Samel, but Samel, he's already picked up the Arcane Rune. He's got enough mana to jump out with the Remnant. Samel is fine. Tiger going in with a deep snowball move here. He's now starting to tick down low. Another Remnant in. Already he falls. OG Nota had the damage. And, I mean, that was a dieback from the Tusker. The 2 buybacks there from Liquid not working out whatsoever as they lose Tusker second time and they lose their tier 1 tower. They only got a Rubik out of it.
Chased a bit here too. He does chase, not connect, and he actually dodges the damage and gets the mischief off. Ooh. Oh, gets that Primals, or Tree Giants off, sorry.
Definitely a bit of a break though given to OG with that bit of a misplay from Liquid.
And you gave a lot of space to Seb in particular, who we were talking about how he's in the recovery. He's a big hero in this game because he's a lot of their, I guess, like, in a way, they're disabled versus the Weaver. If he gets Atos and he has this pit, that Weaver is going to start having some problems, and he's getting pretty close to it already.
Yeah, he's getting some serious farm. Yeah, you know, this game goes on for another couple of minutes, and this sort of pace, you are going to see pretty much all of OG's cores caught back up. Because they can play for the objectives, can group up to what they did mid, on the top and the bottom. Tier 1s are still there. And yeah, as you say, once that Atos is out, the sort of the catch, the team fight and control from OG is going to be hard for these more slippery cores of Liquid to deal with.
Surprised to see Insania still not take his ult either. He's 3-1-4. He has the Beast Master. They have the combo. They haven't had the most opportunities, but now he won't have it for the upcoming situations. And it's already 16 minutes in, so. Yeah.
I imagine maybe, well, obviously you want the Inkswell maxed out. I guess maybe he just favors having more damage from the Stroke of Fate to deal with the low-level Flame Guard. But I mean, even then it's just a low-level Seb. All right, they'll take it. Poxy's in with the Roar. Seb surrounded and instantly walks into his death. Liquid, they're going to start hunting for one of the trees. They'll find the catch on an hotel with the shards. Already Mickey's starting to play around with mid one as Liquid. They've caught OG very broken up. And they're going to get the kills because of this. Mid one, he'll slowly but surely fall. The grave will only buy him some time. Boxy's the one to claim the triple kill. As OG, they just were not ready for that. Liquid just sort of just awkwardly walked into each other, and Liquid just ended up killing all 3 of them.
That was like the most perfect smoke ever. They literally caught Seb as he gets his Atos TPing in. He just gets instantly killed. Now Saxa, that's Gucci, but he's likely to go down too.
Shots are on point from Tiger. Saxa cannot get out in time. So 4 heroes, one after another, dying on OG. Only Samel to stay alive amongst all of that chaos that ensued on the top half of the map. And it's a very back and forth game.
And that's like, it's really interesting how they did that smoke too, right? Because like the tower had already pretty much was dead, right? I mean, mid one, they had already claimed it by the time they reached, or as they were reaching Seb in the back line. So they were doing a full smoke. They weren't even smoking to defend the tower. That was a smoke just to get tons of kills and just lose your tower. That was a different than what I feel like I usually see.
Smells on that. They did smoke, but the smoke gets dispelled. He's too close to Tiger. Slight won't catch anyone. Quakefor a little more prepared to fight now that he has the diffusal blade complete, so certainly amping up his power. And this
he's
top
so
lane,
good versus these supports. Like the Rubik is a little annoying for him, but he's amazing versus AA.
he's keeping himself hidden for now. They do manage to catch Sumail there. They were setting up the three of them top, and Sumail ends up walking into a bit of a trap. Sumail's getting very important that OG keepers going good. He is sort of the leader of the way that they take these fights. So without Sumail, things do start to crumble a little bit. Seb's still looking to find this catch on the bottom lane. Knows that with the action up top, Liquid are likely to be low on numbers down here, and indeed it is just Boxy, but Boxy keeping himself hidden, staying in the trees. No TP for 30 seconds, so this will be a bit of time where Boxy is forced out of the map, and so having to sit AFK.
Boxy left his courier in the lane as well. Killed. He also gave both kills on his netbooks, and
and he's going to show because he's going to try for Notel, but Notel's got back up with him. A bit of an ambitious attempt there from Boxy with the roar. Notel's going to be saved by the grave, and Boxy's going to die for that attempt. Seb does get low to Tiger and Insania, but there's no further follow-up from the two of them. McKay, does he want to commit to try and finish this kill? He's revving up the ultimate. The Soulbind's out. They'll lay him down with a boundless strike. Seb's getting low. They'll get the kill. It's a double for McKay. Over the mid one they go in with the snowball, cancelling the TP. They'll get a third kill. Liquid will manage to get out on top of that trade. They do end up losing Tiger at the end of it all to the poison touch, but the numbers favor them, and McKay, getting those kills as he did, continues to boost his farm on top of the Echo Saber. He's almost got the money for his Maelstrom, so the three cores of Liquid do remain on top.
Maelstrom for... Oh, Mickey.
Oh, he changed it.
I think
he had a cube.
So.
Right.
But he had, I mean, that last fight was, yeah, it was Mickey's godly positioning. They also had the Hawk and a lot of information coming out from what Foxy did. But yeah, Mickey, he's really dominating. Him and Quakefor having a spectacular game so far. 9-0 on Quakefor too. And Notel looking to be pretty dead.
Soon to make that 10-0 if they want to commit for it. Fall head back over. Actually, a little scared now that Sumail's around. The army is coming in onto Notel, but it's not enough to kill him. Notel's actually going to be able to get away from Boxy's army, as the rest of OG there to protect him from the animals.
Dire are scanning for enemies. Radiant's bottom tower.
Still 3K lead.
Really smart right now. They're keeping their lanes pushed in really nicely. I've noticed throughout the entirety of this game too. Foxy's been spamming his necro books, pushing waves out using his boars as well. We see Mickey, he's been jumping, forcing those lanes in constantly. So they've been having good information constantly and great wards. Look how deep these wards are. They're actually watching OG's movements as they progress toward top with that one that never got dewarded. Because OG probably feels safe because they have a sentry on top of it. But that ward was placed afterwards, so they don't see it. Liquid with all the information right now of what's going on.
Find themselves nothing but the illusions of Quakefor. But they're also happy to try and push for these tier 2s rather than necessarily getting kills. They want to continue to just clean up this area, take what they can away from Liquid, and see how much Liquid want to put into responding. A TP comes in from Tiger. Him and Insania sat behind the tower. Boxy prepared to sort of intervene from the back lines. But already OG seem a little spooked. They know that Liquid's starting to build the numbers up, and they begin the retreat. Seb's going to be the one left behind. Boxy leads in with a roar. Seb's relatively tanky. Tiger's going to roll across. Can they burst him down? They're bringing him low. Seb's still alive. Finally falls. The balance strike from it comes out. As after cleaning up, Sumail is ready to move over, join the rest of Liquid to finish off the remainder of OG. Saxon tries for the TP, but Quakefor finds him with the Shikuchi. Only mid one able to get out alive. Everybody else dies.
Liquid had, I was mentioning it, right? Like Liquid, they had all the information in the world. They played that, like OG played directly into their hands. And Sumail actually making a big error here. He's waiting on the outpost. I don't know if you guys, if you could see it on the, where the fight was happening. He was actually on the outpost. He got hit by the diffusal, like a couple times by the diffusal blade with mana break. And he's out of mana and he couldn't remnant away. He just dies to pretty much the Weaver in a few seconds by himself. And then they're isolated up top without their Ember Spirit. Liquid with a perfect move and a perfect read. They had the word vision of watching OG all set up for that, and they just took their time and set up for it perfectly.
Yeah, no, it is hard for Samea's to play against the Diffuser Blade. You know, as an Ember Spirit, your mana pool, it isn't that amazing, right? Most team fights, you're going through the majority of it. You know, as soon as you sort of just pop the Flame Guard, jump in, chains, and a Sleight Fist, that's easily over half your mana pool, so you get hit a few times.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen if he had the Mana Break talent yet. I think he may have gotten 15 right after he got the kill, but either way, like, you're a Weaver. You burn it very quickly, as you were mentioning.
Well, OG immediately on the hunt once more. Get out and reclaim this outpost. Koifa's got a TP back, join the rest of his team. He's very close to having that BKB done. And I mean, as we've seen already, he's not dying. And with the BKB, they don't have anything to control him through the BKB. Once that's out this game, he's going to be fine. The only thing they have ready to hurt him is obviously this physical build that Samel is going for, but there's nothing to stop him BKBing and time-lapsing. Pretty much for the rest of this game, there's not really any sort of itemization that OG's heroes are likely to go for that's going to deal with that Weaver BKB.
No, it does seem like it's just going to get, at the pace that it is, it's going to be really hard for OG to take fights too, because now it's double Blink Dagger, Grimstroke, and Beastmaster, so you're going to see double roars coming into play very soon from Liquid constantly. This is looking really problematic for OG. I don't really know how they're going to be able to respond for this, but it's going to have to be some miraculous fight.
I'm going to try and have a bit of a poke on Mickey. They do manage to bring him down. Yeah, Mickey just caught on the front. The rest of Liquid already bailing. Well, they're out of there. And maybe Samel could try and hunt for more. He's moving in with the Remnant. Tries to find someone with the slight chains, but all he gets is half of the Beastmaster's army. The rest of Liquid are out of there, but definitely a bit of an awkward move there from Mickey stepping up front, and they just didn't have the safety behind him. There's not really any sort of saving that Liquid can offer other than the snowball, and a lot of the time that can, you know, only be a temporary measure of safety as you end up getting rolled into the enemy team.
And you can't save versus pit because you can't actually like blink into the pit and snowball because you're rooted. Yeah. So it's like one of those really hard ones to actually try to protect. It's Insania. He's also getting found out here.
Liquid just getting caught sort of separate in ways that you wouldn't have expected it. I think, you know, Mickey dying like that with the rest of his team sort of sitting back and watching was, you know, they definitely caught Liquid by surprise. They did not expect that Monkey King to fall on the front that quickly.
I was surprised that he was even showing himself in the front there, right? Because the Weaver's the one who's like got the BKB, and he's this very elusive hero. Monkey King can just sit in the trees. He went for the risky item build with Desolator, so I mean, OG just capitalizes on it massively. Now they're trying to go for a Roche here.
I mean, they're doing it. It's at half HP. Liquid are heading over. They do have a pretty excellent team fight around the pit, so OG's got to hurry this up if they want to get away with it. It's getting low. Boxy's going to go with the roar onto Satch on the side of it all. Seth forces his way out of the pit. They'll look over towards Tiger. Tiger affected by the cold feet. They'll kill off the Tusk as well as the Grimstroke. Both supports down. Tusk bites back. Quite for committing with the BKB. Looking for No-Tail, but mid-one's there with the Grave. Another heal, and the mech alive. Only sacks are going down, so a 2-for-1 trade. Buybacks obviously coming out from both supports. They really want to try and contest this Roche. Liquid, they're straight back in the pit. The Roshan's falling low. Is there going to be any intervention from OG? There is not. Liquid, they'll get the Roche kill, and they'll get the Aegis.
Great plays still from Liquid. They're still in a good spot. OG made great plays the last few moments, but not able to quite sneak that one away when Liquid actually does still fight. We still see that Liquid is still a much stronger fighting force if they're all together versus OG. Just have to be at their positioning, how alone they are.
Just walking in, he's found Tiger. Again, Liquid, after a great play, they sort of split up and suddenly heroes start to fall. Tiger goes down, and OG, they've got the mid lane moving in. See if they want to try and push down this tier 2. Of course, it will be into Mickey and his Aegis, and also very close to BKB Monkey King. Koifa's able to find No-Tail, picks him off down bottom as No-Tail was trying to soak up some level and farm. OG are remaining around, poking out this tier 2.
Liquid back to pushing everything in. No, we see up top Mickey with no hesitation did continue to push top. Same thing for Koifa was pushing bottom. Now he's almost got the BKB. He should feel a lot safer when he does have that one. Boxy gets spotted.
Seth is able to slide in. Cancel that TP with the pit. Using the roar, Boxy's going to try and bring down Saxa with him. Saxa's getting low, but mid-one's around to offer the sustain. A quick pop of the heal and Saxa will be fine. Boxy still lives though for now. It's going to be back up in a second. Foxy.
Watched.
Seb with a blink out. Mickey's there with the back. Jumps in onto mid one. Seb's decided it's time to get out of it. Now the force to the side. He will. Saxa, can he get him range in time? He can. Saxa will be taken back with Seb to safety. And still very much a hard game for OG. Still 8k down, and as you say, with these cores, with their BKBs, do pose a huge threat for OG's lineup, but do struggle to deal much damage at all through the Magic community.
They have no control for them either. They lose to heroes as Pushka. He has the BKB, and now they've got the Soulbind.
Two-man silence, look at the two of them down. Samael trying to get that plug off him. He cannot do so in time. Both Samael and Seb will fall, and now Liquid can collapse on the remainder of OG. No-Tail will also go down. As we're seeing, Kuiper, if he can press BKB, he is going to live every single fight. And we're seeing that in the numbers. 14-0-7 on the mid-weaver this game.
Yeah, he's had a perfect game, right? Like, he's 14-0-7. He killed, he got the first, he did like everything he had to do so far in this one. Liquid have given up a couple kills here and there, but overall, they've kept their composure. Now when they're in, I forward the roll.
Foxy just commits straight away with the roll on to mid one. Mid one's gone over towards Saxa. They turn, he's silenced. Mickey trying to dive in for this one. And with the slow from Insania, they'll get it. 2 kills behind the tier 3s. They'll resume pushing. This game is getting closer and closer to just looking to be a little too much for OG Draft to deal with when playing behind. They're down 14k. They're going to lose this bottom melee racks. And their only real scaling core that's in an okay position is Samael. The mid Dazzle and the offlane Underlord are going to struggle to offer much now against this push that Liquid can offer with their BKBs.
Yeah, I think the panel was talking about a lot too, is how like OG Draft is a lot about like early and mid game. And they've fallen up very far behind in this mid game. And it's just seeming to be super difficult for them to try to take down any of the cores really on the side of Liquid. They've gotten Boxy maybe a couple times, but the 2 important ones at least. They're very difficult. Now they're going to try to push their lanes down here for a bit. They still have top pushed in for OG, but making any plays right now is so difficult for them.
I think it's getting to the stage where if you're OG, you are waiting to see if Liquid, maybe dive a little too far, start fighting under tier 4s. Fighting lineup outside of your base right now when you're 15k down, you just don't have the power. You don't have the heroes. Mickey level 20, halfway into the money for his Aghanim Scepter. And Kuiper, what's he going for next?
I like how they're being careful on Liquid. Yeah. They have their top lane pushing in. They didn't really see too much information, actually like pretty much no information on the map. They're like, all right, hold your hand, hold everybody's hand, have a buddy system, all right, everyone together. And now they can probably look to just smoke and probably take a straight up fight whenever they'd like to. Bottom is pushing in heavily, and OG will always have to address that, and mid is also pushing in pretty nice.
Oh, it's Kuiper as well. He's playing it the safe way in terms of itemization. He's going for the Lincoln Sphere. He did, I would imagine, see the ultimate orb on Dazzle, knows that mid one is going to try and build this Hex to have some sort of lock before the BKBs come out. But before that Hex is going to be there, that Lincoln's will be complete. Lane, still up for the lead in onto Seb. Seb trying to keep himself alive with the Ghost Scepter. Buys him a little bit of time. Still though, Mickey's trying to close the gap. Jumps in deep. Over to the 2 of them. There's the Raw, splitting them apart. The Soulbind destroying both mid one and Saxa. Seb cannot get out in time. 3 dead on OG. Liquid are definitely free to just run down mid, take this tier 2, and almost certainly more. Samael has been found with a Boundless Strike. Does have a Remnant up. Tiger will follow through with the circle pretty deep. Gets the punch up. Kuiper's in on top of Samael. Samael, he throws up the Remnant out, but his mana, it's gone. Samael is dead. He'll buy back. OG still trying to hold on, but this game 1 looking pretty grim for them as Liquid. They managed to play this in a way with cause that OG's lineup just wasn't prepared to deal with. The lane setup, the mid lane and the top, this mid Weaver and this safe lane Monkey King. They had a dream start, and you're seeing it now in the performance. 31 minutes in, 2 sets of racks to their advantage in a 12-3k lead. This game is getting closer and closer to being over for OG.
It seemed pretty over for a little bit of time now, but they're still gonna I guess they're still gonna keep themselves in the base. But no, Liquid, I love their planning. I think this one, the way that they had set up everything throughout the draft, and then they picked this Weaver last, I feel like that was the start of an amazing thing, and everything has just kind of fallen into place for them. Kuiper just steamrolled. I mean, he just dominated OG, really.
He's always ready for a fight.
Yeah, I can't remember who did it, but we definitely have seen some other teams play around with the idea of putting Weaver in the mid lane. But I mean, we're seeing how good it really can be. I mean, it just makes sense, right? You know, this hero, if you get those early levels, that solo XP, you know, if Shikuchi at Hutch, you're able to do so much from an early level. You're such a nuisance to do it. Vicky finding a beautiful jump in into the middle of 4 members of OG. Saxa goes down. Samel and Seb having to try their best to retreat, but Seb, he's shot in by the igloo. There'll be a buyback from mid one. OG still desperately trying to get something going their way, but I do not see it happening as the dive comes in from Liquid, taking out No-Tail. Samel again in trouble. The silence from Insania. The Ink Swell as well. He tries to close the gap on mid one. The root will hold in place Samel. He gets another slider fist out, but he will fall up inside his own base. And there we have it. They'll tap out. It is enough for OG in this game one as Liquid. They come in with some smart strats, and it proves to be super effective. 44-18, 20k gold lead. This game, it was all Liquid. OG's going to have to come back with something totally different in game two.
Yeah, just love, like I said, love the way they set it up where it's like, oh, you think that